Okay, 1, 2, 3. Better? Okay. At any rate, VividPix is a company that deals a lot with images, and they took up a lot of stuff where FlipPal, if you're familiar with that scanner, they went out of business, and VividPix has kind of picked it up. VividPix is also one of the major sponsors for Roots Tech out in Salt Lake City in the spring. At any rate, their website has a number of short videos that you might be interested in, and including family history interviews, how to do them, remembering those who are no longer with us. This group is creating family history time capsules. So I will leave this handout at the back, and if you have any questions, you can come see us upstairs on the second floor where the genealogy collection is located. Thank you.
Thank you, Catherine. I just have a couple of quick announcements, and then I'll introduce our presenter. We do have positions open on the board: Vice President, Recording Secretary, and Historian. Most of these positions take 2 to 3 hours a month. In some months, there's no time needed. So please consider it, joining us. Number 2, Ancestry Pro Tools. You can't hear me? Okay, is that better? Can you turn it off? Okay, is that better? Good. Okay, Ancestry Pro Tools is currently on sale, 30% off. It's only running until the 28th of May. If you haven't tried the Pro Tools, this is something you're going to want to look into. The 30% makes it $7 instead of $10, so it's not a huge savings. It wasn't a big. The good thing is you can stop it at the end, whatever month you're done. You don't have to continue for a whole year. It's month by month. The tools are charts and reports, advanced filters, map views, and the ever important tree checker. This is for missing information, duplicates, no sources, all the errors that you might have in your tree, that we all have in our tree. It's worthwhile. Number 3, a suggestion was made that we move our November party to the end of the season party to September so that more people could attend and join in. So many snowbirds and all that don't get to come. So we are looking at it. A possibility was a picnic. I did a little bit of research, and needing a covered area, picnic tables, all that sort of thing, that it became a new challenge in and of itself. The other option was to stay at the Family History Center where we have our November party. We meet there in September anyway for the board meeting, and we could just have the party then. And it is finger foods and casual time to talk about genealogy or any other thing. And then we'll do a short board meeting after, and that would be September 11 at 2 o'clock. Let's take a vote. Just a show of hands. Anybody have a preference? Is it okay if we move it to September from November? Yes? Any no's? Good. Okay. Picnic or Family History Center? Family History Center, okay? Okay. Done. Okay. And you'll get more announcements about it and all that. Remember to bring in your Olson receipts. Jamie LynnTruax is originally from the Capital Region of New York and moved to Las Vegas for 17 years. She now lives in Waters, Michigan, in Otsego County. Jamie has been working on family history her whole life. Jamie's mother and aunt were the family genealogists in her family, and about 10 years ago, they passed the job to Jamie. Professionally, she is a cemetery sexton and runs 3 cemeteries. Her job allows her to do a lot of family history work. She also teaches family history classes once a month by Zoom, which I've partaken in 2 of them already. She travels around Michigan teaching. Her favorite websites are Ancestry, Family Search, newspapers.com, and Fold3. Please join me in welcoming Jamie.
Thank you so much for coming. And that is basically sums up what I do. I do genealogy all the time, and my Zoom classes, they are open to the public if anybody wanted to come. I do my Zoom classes September through November, and then January through May, and it's the second Wednesday of every month. And if I don't know if we have those numbers out there. Marcia has them. It's on the handout. Fantastic. But anybody is welcome. And I think my phone number's on there. People call me all the time or text me for genealogy help. Feel free. My phone is constantly genealogy. So today I'm going to really cover family search. Can everybody hear me? Am I loud enough? Okay. So today I'm really going to cover family search. Oh, I wanted to mention, Marcia had mentioned the Pro Tools. I just want to tell you, if you get the Pro Tools, be prepared for your feelings to be hurt, because I was really shocked at how many things I needed to fix in my tree, and Pro Tools made it very obvious of my errors, and it was like, whoa. So just prepare your emotions for that. Okay, so yes. 6 to 7:30. Yep, and I think it has the days or the months that I do it. We take summer and December off. Also, during my class, if you have a question, ask at the time. I don't want to wait to the end. So if you got a question, just shout it out and we will handle it right there, because it's just not going to pertain to anything if we wait to the end. So don't be shy, just ask. Okay. So first I'm going to talk about the difference between Ancestry and Family Search, because I know a lot of people like Ancestry, but they're moving to Family Search because Ancestry is becoming very unaffordable. And so Ancestry is a place where you build your tree, and then you have apples growing on your tree. So I have first cousins 162 on one side. So if we all have a subscription to Ancestry, there will be 162 trees for each of them. And I would show up, or our deceased relatives would show up on every single tree. We would be listed on every single tree. Now, no one can come in and trim my limbs. They can't change anything to my tree, but they can pick the fruit of my tree. Like, I love that photo. I'm going to take that photo, put it here, and things like that. But they can't change the tree. That is not how Family Search works. Family Search is a community tree. It's a worldwide family tree, which means there's only one of every deceased person in the world on it, which means it is community-based, which means anybody can come in and change things. Does that irritate people? Yes. But a lot of people are not trained in family history, and they get on, they think they know what you're doing, and they just load it up, they create duplicates, things happen, and I understand the frustration with the website, but it really is a fantastic website. And I call Family Search, when you open profiles for people, I call them buckets of love, because this is where people can put anything in. So I had military pictures of my grandfather. I figured out who the men were. I created profiles, or if they had profiles, I put those photos on there. I'm sure their families didn't even have those photographs, but now it's out there. So I was filling their buckets with love. And so when we just change the way we think about it, it may help us a little bit with Family Search, because Family Search frustrates so many people. All right, so a lot of times people get angry because they're like, That's my family member. You know, why are you changing my great-grandfather? Things like that. Well, let me give you some numbers. And these numbers kind of help us put things into perspective. Now, this is just counting grandparents. This is not counting cousins, things like that. So if you go back 5 generations, that's about the year 1800, you'll have 32 grandparents. So if you take those 32 grandparents, how many kids did they have? Their kids, 5 generations. That's a lot of people sharing those grandparents. If you go back 10 generations, which will bring you about to year 1650, you will have 1,024 grandparents, plus all of their offspring. That number's huge. If you go back 20 generations, you will have 1,048,576 grandparents. So that kind of puts things in perspective a little bit, because those numbers are so big, but it just goes to show there's a lot of family out there, and we all share that family. And really, I have never met someone that I haven't been able to connect our families somehow on the tree. So we are all connected. These are all our people, and we just have to work with the website and the other people kindly and patiently, and just know that everybody's trying to do their best. All right, any questions so far on the difference between the 2 websites? Yes? No, everything is public on Family Search. Because you don't have your own tree. It is not your own tree. So Ancestry, you have your own tree. Family Search is one tree that we all work off of. I'm going to actually go over that. That's my first thing I'm going to go over. So we're going to touch on that right away. Yes? Nobody can actually see you. If you're marked as living, you can't be seen. Your profile can't be seen. Yes. But don't click living for the dead. Yeah. Yes. Yep. Correct, because those have been imported. So a lot of them have come in when Family Search changed their website, like, 13 years ago, 14 years ago, and they imported those genealogies. And those are like documents that you can look at. They're not part of the tree. Yes. You would have to go through, well, are you talking about on Family Search? On that, a website? Ancestry? Okay, so Ancestry, you would have to actually go through it one by one. You would have to, you would have to put in the hard work and fixing that, yes. Okay, so what do we do when someone changes stuff? You can follow people. And I'm going to show you how to follow people. And this is on your handout, so it shows you exactly where to go. So when you follow people, I highly suggest, when I first started following people, I'm like, well, I'm following them all. Oh, don't do that. Because every time there's a change, you get a notification that something has been changed. And sometimes people are just correcting spelling, things like that. So how do you follow someone? So here is my uncle. All right. You go to someone's profile. So I'll go from the beginning. So just in case someone's not familiar with this website. So you build your tree. Let me preface this. Before you build your tree, so let's say it's your first time on Family Search. You don't just put in your deceased, you can put in the living freely, put in the living. But once you put in your first deceased person, you must search for them to see if they're already on the tree. Okay? If they are not, then add them. Okay? And then when you go to add their parents, again, search. See if they're already on there, because if they are and you put it in anyway, you've now created a duplicate, and now you have to reconcile the duplicates. And if you guys need help with reconciling duplicates, let me know, and I can put that in at the end, Okay? Does that make sense? Yes. Ah, okay, I'll do that. I forgot what the question was. I'm actually going to answer the question with this presentation. So, all right, so what we do is you go to your tree and you choose someone who's deceased, all right? And then you go to their person, and I already have it following, so I'll unclick it, okay? So this is my grandmother, and here is the follow button, right here. Okay, when you get on the profile, it's going to be an empty star. That means you're not following them, all right? You just click it. It's a one click. Boom. It says you're now following Santos. And so now I know I'm following her. So what's going to happen is every time someone makes a change on her, I'm going to be notified, all right? I really wouldn't go too far past great grandparents because it's just going to get way too busy. Now, if you're on the profile and you want to see what has been changed, if you scroll down the profile on the right side, it says latest changes. And you can click show all, and you can see all the changes that people have made, what date they made them, and what changes they've made. This is all me. I'm Lucille Jerd on Family Search. I go incognito because I do a lot of work. So that is me. And all of these changes are because I teach so many classes and I actually use my own family and do things. But you go to any of your family members, you can see here, it's a long list and it goes far back. Okay, I think I just passed someone. Let me scroll back up. Right here. I don't know who this is. So I can actually click on her name and I can request the relationship so she doesn't have that turned on. This is another nice thing. Let me find someone that has it turned on. So if you have this turned on and someone makes a recent change and you're like, who the heck is that? You can click their name, and if they have it turned on, it's going to tell you how you're related. I'll find another one later. Remind me to do that because that's really fun, but you have to have it turned on in order for that to happen. Okay, so now that I have my grandmother followed, how do you go through your list? Like, you know, sometimes this is unmanageable and your emails are blowing up. So you can go over here to following. See at the top of the screen it says following? Click that. Look at, I have Elvis because, well, who doesn't love Elvis? So, and people are still changing him. So this is my main list. And I have different reasons for following certain people. And you can go down and look at who's changed things. And you can see what changed. Nothing really, there's nothing has been changed. That means nobody is working on that family member, okay? So let me see if this works. I'll click it. Nope. I'll find one that works. Nope. When you click the person's name, a lot of times your relationship comes up. Okay, so let's go into Will Vega. I'm going to click here to changes, and it opens all of the changes that have been made and who made it. All right, so someone makes a change. My great-grandmother, I will actually go to her so you can follow along on that. So my great-grandmother was, let's see. My family, I mean, I'm sure it's pretty obvious, has come from Mexico. This is my great-grandmother coming up here. My family comes from Mexico. My family came from Spain in the 1500s. The conquistadors came over to Mexico, mated with the natives, and here I am. So that's how one side of my family came to be. So they have been in Mexico forever. I mean, hundreds of years. They have been in Mexico before it moves back to Spain. Well, someone got on here and they moved my great-grandmother Tomasita to birthplace in Spain, which, okay, I can see, but I changed it back. And look, there's a duplicate. I'll go over that in a second. So I could totally change it back, which I did. I just change it back. If I see changes that are made that are not correct, I just change them back. And I put a reason. I said, this is my great-grandmother. My mother told me, or my grandmother told me, she was born in Mexico, and here is a reference. I put that in the reason why. You can message them if you want. I don't, because usually they don't even come back. They don't even notice, because a lot of times when they're making those mistakes, they're really not even that good at genealogy, and they probably don't realize what they're doing. So I just change it back and call it good. But I have her marked, so if it happens again, which it did, they moved it back to Spain, And then I reached out to them and I said, hey, I just want to let you know, this, I know from my grandmother, that this woman was born in Mexico. I've got the paperwork. And I was super nice about it. Everything was good. They finally left it alone. But I was notified through following. And one good thing about this is, if someone changes that information, it's going to change the information coming into you. Your hints are going to change, so you want it correct. So that would have caused confusion with my family line. Now I can see here that someone has created a duplicate, potentially, of my grandmother, and I'm going to have to figure this out. But, oh yeah. Yep, that's her. So let's see, you can actually find out who did it. So go to that person, and let's see who created this person, Ricky Westbrook. There we go, my 10th cousin twice removed. It finally showed up. So here we go, this is how we're related, and it goes all the way back. Obviously, Ricky doesn't know how to use this website. So what am I gonna do? I'm just gonna reconcile the duplicate and move on with my life. And what's going to happen is when I do that duplicate and I merge those two together, the correct person, which is the one that I created, will now show up on his tree. So when he gets in, he's probably not even going to realize that was a duplicate, and he's just going to say, oh, there's a picture, woo, exciting, because I put the two together. So a lot of times you could just save yourself a lot of grief and just fix it and move on. Yeah. Unless it continues to happen, then put it out there, throw out some information, be super nice. And I always say, this came out of my grandmother's mouth, from her lips to my ears, blah, blah, blah. Also, I have found, and it's not always true, but sometimes if you make someone's profile super good, people are going to be a little intimidated. Okay, so let's go back to my grandmother here. So you open up her profile. Now, this is not always true, but I got 18 sources. But you know what? I got 30 memories. I have personal photos. I have her house, her as a child. I mean, who is going to have her driver's license? And this tells anybody who comes onto her profile, I got it. Thank you. I got it. However, I'm also welcome. I welcome anything that anybody has. Now, my grandmother loved marrying men. She had many husbands. Mr. Will Vega Garcia, she didn't even have to change her name this time with this one. So she married this guy, and I had some photos of him. And I created a profile, and I put up his photos. His family contacted me. They had nothing. For some reason, they had no photos of him. Every photo that they had now came from me. And so I sent them to him because he's not my grandfather. He just happened to be married to my grandmother. Not for long, but he was married to my grandmother. And so I sent them all out to her. So, it's case by case. But in this case, I changed some things that belonged to other people who is not technically a family member, but they got a great gift. Photographs they didn't even know existed. So this is really why I love Family Search, because it can potentially bring in stuff you don't have access to. Yes. Oh, I thought you had a question. Any questions on this? Buckets of love. Exactly. That's what I call it. Now, if the notifications get out of hand, turn them off. You can go to that list that I showed you by going to following, and you can just turn them off. So you go down your list. I don't even know who this person is. I'm sure I did it for a class. So I'll click right here. I don't even have to open her profile, and I can turn off the following, and then there's my notification. That quick, on, off. So if it just gets a little out of hand, the older the relative is, the more changes you're going to get because the more living relatives they're going to have. All right, any questions on that? Okay. Okay, so this is what I do. Ancestry is, do I use Family Search to augment my ancestry? That was a question. Okay, this is what I do. Ancestry is my filing cabinet. I put everything in Ancestry. I put on Family Search, whatever I choose, whatever I want to bring over. But if something changes, I don't panic because I go to Ancestry and I open my drawer, pull it back out and stick it back on. Everything. So if I come across pictures that were put up, I don't just attach them to my tree. I save those pictures onto my computer and then I upload them myself because those links die, they break, and if the person deletes that photo, there goes your photos. So I always save and I put it in my filing cabinet. And so that's how I use Ancestry. It is my storage room. Okay, how on my computer do I label the pictures?
So that you can go find them.
I do it right then and there. So let's say I pull up that picture of Will Vega and I didn't have this photograph. I'm going to save it real fast and I'm going to save it to my desktop, okay, because that's how quick I'm going to be in and out. Excuse me. So if I click, I'm going to click save and I'm going to save it to my desktop and then I'm going to go to Ancestry and I'm going to upload it into Ancestry. Boom, delete the picture, I'm done. Because it is in my filing cabinet. I do not store personally all that stuff because that's what my Ancestry is for. Okay? Yes? Yes, okay, so yes. I want to show you a great picture. So with this picture, you can see here, I'm going to refresh the picture and you'll see them all. Actually, I'm going to use a better picture. I use this picture all the time because it's, you know, the more people, the more fun it is to look at, right? So let me show you a family wedding. I have a bit of a large family. Let's see. So I'm going to go to my other grandmother who has the middle name Lucille, and it said Lucille Jerd. That's what I go by, so I named myself on Family Search after my grandmother. All right, you ready? I'm going to click this picture, and I'm going to do it because all the names are going to come and go. Okay, so it's a Filkins wedding. Boom, gone. Okay, so I labeled every single picture. But because this is one worldwide family tree, if you take my grandmother's ID number, put it in the Family Search, the same picture is going to show up, but it will only ID those who are deceased. Okay? I can't show you because, well, I'm logged into my own. So all these squares that show up for me, it's because they're my family. I put them in and they're living. But half of these squares will not even show up for you to see it, but you will see the photograph. Okay, where am I? I'll give you a little hint, it's 1994. No, nope, cousins. Here I am with the big hair. There I am. We're all really short, so it's really hard to take a family photo when we're all like max 5'2". Yes? I don't know of any, but I'm not that technologically advanced. Yes. Oh, is there software out there to identify people? Now, some people use the website DeadFred. DeadFred. D-E-A-D, Fred, DeadFred. And this is a website that if you have photographs and you just don't know who the people are or the location, you can pop it up on this website and put in certain information and hopefully someone will browse that website and find that information for you. But I don't know, it doesn't mean it's not out there, but I don't know of anything right now in the genealogical world that you can use for that. I know on Facebook, if you post it, if it knows the person, but I think that person has to have a profile for the system to even recognize the person. Yeah, but it doesn't give me any suggestions, this website or the other one. It doesn't even give suggestions. I have to know who they are. Yeah, exactly. Because you know what? It was just 5 years ago, you couldn't label these pictures on Family Search. It was only the side list. You couldn't do this on Family Search. Yes?
So you scan that picture, put it to your desktop, right? And how could you label your person?
Okay. So I'm asked how I get the picture on and how I label the people. Okay. So what I do is, let's say this was my cousin's photograph. I would save the image to my desktop. Then I would come in here You can upload 2 different ways on Family Search for photographs. You can do it right in Memories, right here, and I can do Add Memory, and I can do it here. Or I can go up here to Memories and go to my gallery, where this is embarrassing, so don't judge me. It's so bad. So this is where I mass upload everything, and it sits in this folder until you label it. And then it stays in the folder, but just labeled. So this is how you get it up here, and you can see I have a lot of documents, nothing's labeled. That means it's not tagged anyone, it's just sitting in a holding cell in my Family Search. But once I tag something, it now belongs to someone, so when you open that person's profile, this picture will show up, okay? So it just sits dormant until you tag it. Let me show you how to tag it. So let me go back to that photograph. All right, let me see. This one might not be, oh, everybody is tagged here. That's okay. I'm gonna actually I'll delete a tag. All right, so I'm gonna say here, so how do I tag? You click the photo, click tag people. It used to be just click the photo. Now it's, do you see this button up here? Tag people, click it. Click the person. Make your square however you choose. Then type Kenneth Filkins, click. Boom, tagged. There you go. That's simple. You make a mistake, fine. Go over and just delete it real quick. Just take the name, drop down, hit the trash can. Gone. So don't be scared. Everything can be undone, everything. And if you forget what you did, but you know you did something wrong, just go to the person's profile and go to your latest changes. It'll tattle on you for yourself. Okay? So let's see if that even, I don't wonder if that even showed up because it happened so fast. So let's see. Oh, it would be on Kenny's. But right here is where you're gonna find all your changes that you have made. Any questions? Will it also show changes somebody else made? Yes, every single change on this profile is right here, and you can see, I don't know who this is. I can click it. It may not be family. So yes, so if you click latest changes on any profile of deceased, this will not show up on living because you're the only one making the changes, because you're the only one who can see your living people. So like I said before, on Ancestry, I show up on all the trees. On Family Search, the deceased person only shows up once. However, if the living person on your tree dies, and 162 of your cousins are doing family history, all of a sudden you're gonna have 162 duplicates on Family Search because everybody's gonna decease the person, and then you have to bring it all down to one. But boy, that is amazing when you have a huge group of people working on one person who's living and filling that profile, because once you bring all those profiles together, it's beautiful. It's an amazing profile of things that you didn't even know existed, and you wouldn't know exist until the person has passed away. So right here is where you can see all the changes. I don't know, my 9th cousin. And then you can click if, you know, but you have to have it turned on. I have mine turned on. All right. Any more questions on this? Oh, they've moved that. Great question. Does anybody know? Because they have moved it. Oh, it's in the account still? Settings? Let's see. Notifications. Permissions, perfect. There we go, you got it, okay. So under your account, you click your name in the top right corner, go down to settings, and then permissions, enable relationship viewing. I love it, because as you know, I work in cemeteries, and the majority of the people I bury are Polish. I'm not Polish, but it's amazing how many of these people I can track, I can connect through just having the relationships on. There's another website, it's called relativefinder.org. And it is attached to Family Search, so it's the same exact login. and they will attach you to all kinds of people. You can actually make a group in Relative Finder for the genealogical group, and then it'll show you how you're all related. RelativeFinder.org is free. It is a part, it's owned by BYU, and it's the same login for Family Search. So it actually takes the family, it uses that information to do things. At the end, remind me, and I'll open Relative Finder. I don't want to do it yet because it's a rabbit hole. And then my whole class will be over. Deadfred.com is free. Yes. That's a fun website to go through. And on Deadfred, you can go and look up your state, look up your county, and browse pictures because maybe there's a picture of your loved one in there. And you can search people by the photographer. Back in the day, the photographer was known, and you can actually research through a photographer. Kind of like in Texas where you can research families through cattle brands. You can research families through photographers. Yes, and Dead Fred teaches all that. I love Dead Fred. Again, another rabbit hole. Yes, okay. All right, any questions? I'm gonna move on to searching. There are so many ways to search on Family Search. So I'm gonna go, before I go there, my time is ticking too fast. Okay, on the front page of Family Search, don't skip this page. This is a very important page. If you scroll down, right here, we talked about Bucket of Love. Right here are all the latest changes to anybody linked to you in your tree. And it tells you it's been uploaded, photographs, and it'll tell you. So here's my Uncle Eddie. My Uncle Eddie married my aunt. So both of them, my aunt died 2 years ago, and then someone got nostalgic on his side of the family and started a Family Search account and upload. I would never have access to this photo because he married into my family. But someone uploaded all this stuff of my Uncle Eddie, who is not blood related, married in. And so now I have all of his photographs. Well, if people put stuff in your bucket of love, how do you find it? This front page. Don't skip this front page. It goes on and on. All the recent changes that have been made to your people, things that have been added, and it will show up here. And it keeps going. And it is amazing the things that come up. You don't want to miss out. I didn't even know this is a great-great-grandmother. I had no idea what this woman looked like. I come from a long line of chunky people. Yeah, on both sides. So, and that just proved it even more. Okay, so there you go. And if you ever need to know where is this homepage, just click the Family Search button in the corner. Boom, brings you right to the front homepage. All right? Don't skip this. And mine doesn't get updated that often. I see 2 new things the past couple months. It's not a very lively page, but when it comes up, it's wonderful. Okay, let's get into searching. All right, so we have search. Look, there's a lot of stuff. And Ancestry and Family Search work a little differently with searching. Now, some people are like, well, you get the same records on both. Sometimes. Sometimes one website has the word, what is that called? Indexed version. And then the other one has the photograph. So you could go back and forth with both websites. They don't always have the same exact stuff. A lot of people, I think Ancestry actually carries Albany Rural Cemetery. They actually have all their cemetery cards. It doesn't even exist on Family Search. So that's one record that Ancestry owns that Family Search doesn't have access to. So I always check both if you can, if you have it. Okay, first, I know everybody's probably done searching on here, but I want to talk about a very, for some reason, left out place to search, Research Wiki. I love Research Wiki, and it is underused. This place to search is endless amounts of information, okay? So, okay, I've got someone who died in Montpelier, Vermont. I don't know we know they died this year. Do they have death records, things like that? This right here will show you. So I'm going to show you how to use Research Wiki. How do you find it? You hit the search button, drop down menu, go down to Research Wiki, click it, and boom, maybe. And here we go. Okay, so this is all over the world. I actually cracked a tree that I was working on for 6 months using Research Wiki, going through Europe because it was Polish records, and I learned so much. Also, when you are working with records that are in a different language and you just don't know the language, Research Wiki, go to that country. They have a genealogical translation page. So you can just print up those words, mother, father, birth, death, and look for those and then figure out, I have months, you know, the months in that language, the days of the week, things like that. And you can have your little cheat sheet and then be able to look at all the records because you don't need to know that language to figure out what's on that record. All right, so we're gonna start off in North America, and you have to click, go through, find your thing. We'll go to, I'm from New York, so I'm gonna go to New York because, well, why not? All right, so here's the state. So every time you go down, so you have your country, you have your state, then you go down to city, and you go down to county. So it just keeps going down. So for the entire state of New York and for every other state in the United States, this is what the front page is gonna look like. It's got your information, has everything over here, adoption, Bible records, biography. You know, if you're looking for someone, start big and work it down. This is where you wanna start. There's medical records, land and property. If you go to Texas, you're gonna find cattle branding records. So you can follow a family through their brands. Obituaries, newspapers. Now, not all of these bring you to records. They may bring you to websites. Some of those websites say money on them, you know, the money sign. Don't be discouraged, go anyway. Like if you go to Ellis Island Foundation website, you can see the record and it has, you know, a watermark on it, but you don't have to have the original. Just use your clipping tool within your computer, clip it out, save it, boom, upload it. You don't need to purchase it. Because if you can see it, then you can keep it because you're looking right at it, okay? So I scroll down and it gives cultural groups, archives, and now we have the counties. Now the map is clickable. So sometimes you go some places and you can't think of the county, but you can, oh, I guess I clicked one by accident. You can look at the map and choose that way. Let me keep going. So we have migration information, which is huge in New York. Resources, additional resources. Now this is really huge. This is New York as a whole. So let's pick a county. So I am from Schenectady. So we're gonna pick Schenectady. Here we go. So scroll down. Here is my outline. I can pick any of this and it'll bounce me down the page. Okay, so if I click description, it's just gonna bounce me down the page. But right here, this is priceless information. Known beginning dates of government records in counties. This is huge. Sometimes you're spinning your wheels looking for someone. There may not even be a record because it didn't even start yet. So you can go to every county that you're looking for and it will have this on there and tell you the exact date when these records started. And a lot of times the marriage records go later. You can go back further in marriage records because church kept those records, not the government. Okay? Okay, let's keep going. So now we get into cities. So now I'm in the county of Schenectady, and here's all the cities. I can go even smaller, go into each city. Okay, Bible records. All of these links, which you probably know many of them. Census. You can look through the family search, library films. These are documents that are not indexed yet. And you can sit there and flip one by one, especially if you know the time frame and you know your family members in here. You can flip through them for hours, for days. For people like us, that's fun. So you can do that. You've got population records. This website it goes on forever. And I mean, look I'm not even halfway down the bar yet for one county. Research Wiki. Yeah. And then migration, If you're looking for family members, you know they migrated, you got some information. And it goes, look, it just goes on and on. On and on and on. Okay, so let's say, let's go to Research Wiki. Let's try Poland. So let's see. Poland, we'll pick, I don't know. Here we go, same thing in English, and it's all about that state in Poland. And it has all the clicks over here on the right, different than the United States due to different records. Okay, and I don't know if any, I'm sure a lot of you probably know the history of Poland. Sometimes Poland did not exist on the map. It disappeared for years. So that means other countries had to absorb them. And so your family member might have records, they're Polish, but their records may be in Germany. So this will help you do that. There's actually a YouTube video, which is fantastic, and it's Poland. It's the history of Poland visually, and you watch it, and it's like 10 minutes long, and it shows Poland changing shapes, and it tells the year, and then all of a sudden it's gone, and then it comes back, and then it covers a huge area, and then goes down again. That's very helpful because if you're looking for a certain year, you watch this video, you can see where Poland actually was or was not during that year. Yes? Oh, you found it on here? Uh-huh. Changes your research completely, because what you thought was that county probably is a different county back when that person's records were created. Yes. Okay. Church records. If you are in a very heavily Catholic area, my family is Mexican, very, very Catholic. I can follow my family for generations through the Catholic records. Poland too. I cracked a family's tree by using church records. Again, for Poland, I had my translations, and it worked out perfectly. So always check church records, especially in a heavily Catholic area when you're out of the country, okay? And a lot of times churches do censuses opposite of the country or the state census. So we do ours on the 10, the Catholic Church does theirs on the 5. I know New York does theirs on the 5. I don't think they still do it, but they do it 5 years, 10 years, you know what I'm saying. So if we do ours in 1910, they do theirs in 1915, and so on. So check for those statewide or countywide or citywide censuses or churchwide. Don't miss out on those. Okay, and again, this is Poland, microfilms, all kinds of stuff, and it just goes on and on, and you can jump down these rabbit holes. I mean, this is hours worth of research right here. And you can ask the community. I don't find that people get on here often enough to really have a good source of communication. I do suggest getting on certain Facebook groups that are very specific to your area of research and working with those people. They have a lot of information. You're probably related also. Any questions on Research Wiki? That was really short for a gigantic section of the website. The website is huge for Research Wiki. All right, so let's go back to search. All right, I'm gonna follow my notes because I have very specific stuff here. So if I go to search and I go to records, you have some options here, right here. You can do your research, historical records. You can research by collection. Now you have to have the right name. So I love, and I've always called it Young Men's Draft. It's Young Men. You put Young Men's, it's not coming up. It's Young Men. So spelling counts. So if you put it in there and it doesn't come up, that doesn't mean it's not there. It's just, it took a while for me to realize I put an S on it and there's no S, okay? And then you can search by place. All right, so we're gonna come up here and I'm gonna put in Henry James Wilkins, and he's in, okay. Who can say that town? Both of them, give me both of them. Rensselaer, nice. How about the first one? No. Scotticoke. Right, it's obvious. Okay, and then I'm gonna come over here and put, I'm actually gonna click more options. Don't limit your search from here. You have a more options button. Hit it. Totally put in some stuff. So we're going to do birth. And I'm going to put, oh, not my computer, hold on. And then I'm going to actually put his death in because I really want to get to him. Let's see. Okay. So stuff that comes up. Let's see. Here we go. You can see here this has come up, and right underneath his name it says principal. That means that this search, this record is about him. Now, if it was about his mother, it would say mother. If it was about a mother-in-law, it'll say mother-in-law. That means he's on the record, but the record is not his. And it will show that. So don't skip out on that because you don't really want, other records if you're looking for your person. I think these are basically all principal for him. I have another example showing. All right, so we're here. So if you come over here, right here, you hover, view attached tree person, that means it's already in my tree. So if this comes up, it means it's attached. So here I am, and I can look up the source, and it's already in here, okay? Now I'm gonna go back to my search. And he usually turns purple. A lot of times they turn purple, and that means you've already clicked on it, and you've already viewed it, okay? So if you come over here, this will tell us if we have an image, we do, and then this will say document. So you can click it, you can open up, there is no image, but here's the indexed version of it. And you can go through that. All right, tell me if you need me to slow down because there's a lot to cover. Okay, yeah. All right, so within this page, you have all of these options. You can click collection. These are all clickable up here. Every one of these are clickable. They are filters for you to use with searching. And over here on the right, they show up. So I hit collection, I can say show all 17, and I can choose the ones I want. I know he's not gonna be in Michigan. He didn't go from Scotticoke to Michigan. So I click the ones I want and then apply the filter. So I'm gonna do deaths, marriage, and then hit apply. And then now look what comes up, and you can see here, Henry is the groom. I guess it's not really showing up, but it says groom here. That means he's the groom in this record. This is the father, so it's a record of one of his children. Spouse, that means it's his wife right there, Ethel Viola. So watch that when you're searching. Okay, then you can come, and then when you're done with these filters, just X them out. That's all you have to do. X them out, and then you can hit preference, and you can change the way you view your results when you're searching. So if you find this to not be visually friendly, change your view. Change it so you get it to the point where you like looking at it. And those are all, you can change them all back. They are not permanent. Okay, over here, you can put in your information. Okay, so I want to talk about batch number. So if I go over to Ancestry. Have you ever been in Ancestry and you get an index item and it shows an FHL number? And there's no photograph. Take that number and come on over here. Okay, so you're going to open it up. Let me show you how to get to it again. All right, so you're at Family Search. You're going to click Search. You're going to go to Records. You're going to click More Options. Okay, and then right here, Image, Group, Numbers, or Film Records. You're going to click that. And you're going to put in that number. Okay, so I have one written down. And if you need an example, if you need me to go to Ancestry and show you where to find it, I will do that. So I put in the number and I click Enter. And here it is. It comes up. So so it comes up, but there's more than one person in that record. So the record is a batch. So now I have to narrow it down. So this was for the last name Garcia. So the batch number is not going to bring you right to that record. And I put Garcia and then narrow it down anymore. And then I'm going to put first name Jose. Here we go. This is the one. That's my great-grandfather, Jose Garcia. And so this was a film number on his ancestry page with no photograph. So I can come in here and boom, here's the photograph. That was not available to me on the other website. Okay. The other thing is sometimes they do have the photo available, but the photo is not that great. So write down that batch number, come to Family Search, look up that batch number, and look at their version of the photograph, and sometimes you can read it better. So don't just think, oh, I can't read it. No, keep going. There's more options. Now I want to show you just a side note on this one. Okay, so clearly Jose Garcia is a Mexican man. And my family lived down in Texas. They came over from Mexico. And so the 1910 census, I think this is the one, I hope it is. So the 1910 census was taken by a man named George Jensen. Okay, because he probably doesn't really know much about Mexicans back in 1910. You know, people kind of, groups stuck to themselves, right? So let me find him in here. Here we go. And then right here is the race. Okay, so you can see right here, race, color, you have white, B for black, and then you come down here, what? OT. George Jensen labeled my family octoroon, which means 1/8 black. So he's using his eyes, and he's looking at my family, who's very dark, and thinking, oh, they gotta be octoroon. So this is, I always use this as an example, just because it's on the census doesn't mean it's true. Yes, and again, they're using a guy named George Jensen. What is that, a Finnish name, Swedish name? What does he know about Garcia, right? So I always look at all that stuff and kind of weigh out the information because this type of thing happens. So don't always believe it. It's human error. I mean, I can understand why he made that error. I'm not even mad. Okay, let's see. And then we can go through all of the info. Oh, right here it even says more info. It even like lays it out, 1/8 black. I don't know how he can figure out what the other 7/8 were. You know, yeah. And he was only 5. Yeah, there you go. So, you know, just look at the whole record. Look at all the information on the record. All right, any questions? Nothing? Okay, let me go back to the other parts of searching because I'm running out of time. Is it spinning? There we go. So if we go back to search, you can search image, family tree, genealogies. I like to go to catalogs. Catalogs are where you can, like Young Men's Catalog, or if you want to, if you're looking for someone and you're really struggling with information, put in a keyword and let's see what it offers. So let's just do Schenectady. Okay, because a lot of times there are catalogs you didn't even know existed because there's no way we can know everything that existed. So I hit Schenectady and look at all of this. Now, this is very interesting. St. Anthony's. I went to St. Anthony's as a child. I'm wondering if our records are in there. St. Luke's and St. Joseph's were actually right around the corner. My cousins went there. So it kind of gives you an idea. I didn't even know these existed. Look at them all. And look at how many pages. So you think you've got all that stuff. You think you've got all the records available, but do you? Maybe not. So I would definitely check out that and go through. And then right here, you have your filters. So I am in catalog research, and I can come over here and I can put in a surname. Then I can come down and I can choose a year. I can choose a century. Pick one. Look at, and it shows the records. It's going to narrow it down even further. Or I can go by category. And a lot of times you'd be amazed what you find on those church records. People skip the church records. Don't skip the church records. They put a lot of information. I work for a church. I work for St. Mary Cathedral Parish Office. The amount of stuff that I put in church records is amazing. Like a lot of personal stuff that I can't extract and put in other things. But if the church records are available, hit them. There's a lot of personal stuff in there. I've even seen like old priests put in there like cantankerous woman, things like that in church records. So you don't know, you just don't know. So don't skip those. Any questions on this? Books. All right, books are great. My family is not, I have criminals in my family, but we're not like epic criminals where we're in books. We're in newspapers, the blotter, but we're not in books. But if you have family in the South, in Virginia, where there was a lot of plantations, and you've got a family name, there's going to be a book about these people. So let's pick a name. Washington. Did I spell that right? Yes. Did I? Yeah. So I'm going to click Washington. Let's just search. Look at all these books. You can narrow it down. I have found complete family trees in these books. And you click open the book and you flip page by page by page. They have scanned the entire book for you, every single page. And sometimes you can buy them. Sometimes you can contact that county and their historical society and purchase the book from them if your family's in there and you want to own the book. So don't skip books. And you kind of, another rabbit hole, you know what I'm saying? Because then you start reading, right? And yeah. So I think knowing where your families are from and knowing the history is really going to help you understand why they lived there and maybe why they migrated. So my family came from Mexico. Okay, so my family came from Mexico, probably not for reasons why you would think. My great uncle was shot by the law, so my great grandfather shot the law. That is not a common story, but there's usual like mass migration stories that apply to the mass of people. So get to know the history of your people. Okay, so let's see. We're going to look up Albany, New York. Let's see what it comes up. There it is, Albany Rural. Love this cemetery. And you can go through, they don't have a lot. So this is new. Cemeteries in Family Search is kind of new. They have not done very well at expanding this section of their search area. Find a Grave is still, to me, the best place to go for Find a Grave. And there's billions of graves. It's kind of redundant, but I feel Find a Grave is more popular. However, if you're looking for someone you don't find on Find a Grave, check out Billions of Graves, because you never know. It's kind of like a parallel site, but different owners. Findagrave.com, which is owned by Ancestry. So if you have an Ancestry account and you get a Find a Grave account, you find someone, you can actually attach it to your tree through Find a Grave because they are connected. Billions of graves. Billion graves, yes. Billions graves is not free? Go to Find a Grave. Yeah, but she says there's a price, and I don't feel it's as but if there's a fee, then people aren't filling it up like Find a Grave, which is free. Yep. Mm-hmm. Oh, 2 thumbs down for that. Do not recommend. Well, go ahead if you like it, But I like Find a Grave, and it attaches to my Ancestry. Other websites that attach to your Ancestry is newspapers.com, also owned by Ancestry. Newspapers.com, Fold 3. Now, if you're looking for military records, the time has come. Summertime is patriotic season, and usually they open it up for 3 days on Memorial Weekend. That's this weekend. So check out Fold 3. They usually open their entire collection free to anybody who wants to get in. And they fold and then the number 3, like you're folding a flag. Fold 3. Government records all over many different countries. I'll show you the website. Fold 3. And it is a .com. And then here it is. Let me sign. Oh, I'm not signed in. This is not my computer, and I would not remember. So here's all the wars that you can get into. They have a lot of more information than you would find on Family Search. They have more in-depth information on military records. They usually go free around Memorial Day, 4th of July, Veterans Day. Those are your 3 popular free weekends for this website. And it is totally worth it. I highly suggest if you have Facebook to get on those Facebook pages like Fold 3s because they'll announce when it goes free. I don't know if it's on there, I have a Facebook group, and when I see that they go up or things are on sale, I pop it up on that group to let everybody know that this is the weekend or things are on sale. Uh-huh. Yep. Well, it depends on the cemetery location. If it's a national cemetery, potentially. For like my little cemeteries, no. No, I actually use Find a Grave. I fill up Find a Grave with all the information, so it's out there for the public. Now, there's I have actually a page on here. There's national archives that you can go to. There's Meet Me After Class, and I'll pull up that list for you, because there's a bunch of different websites that you can go to for those types of information, and they're more government.
Like National Archives, I found that
Yeah.
in the Ellis Island history,
Port? Or the,
the card,
oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Under National Archives.
Yeah, Ellis Island Foundation. That is a free to sign up for website, but if you want anything, it costs money, but they show you the picture. So there you go, you've got it, right? So if you look up those websites like that, they'll send you other places. The other place where you can find those types of websites is Research Wiki. You can go into those government documents, like military, and it'll tell you all the websites you can go to for things like that. Fold 3 is fantastic for these records. If you can even do like a 1-month subscription and just go crazy on. My uncle who's still living, his records are all out there. I couldn't believe it. Tons of stuff, yes. Yes, you can. You can add your relative to Fold 3. You can even create a memorial on Fold 3. It's a lot of extra work, but it's nice that they allow you to add. Of course, it helps them, because you're just giving them the information. They're not going to stop you, but it's really nice. Yes. Yeah, do you have more info? I don't know the dates and stuff. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, there's not a lot. Oh, yes, there was a fire in St. Louis in the 1970s that took out a lot of the records for World War I and World War II. So a lot of those records were destroyed, just like the census records for those 1890. And it's hard to find people because more than half of the records are gone. Yeah, but if you can get on for free, it should be free this weekend. Do it.
If you just add for free regardless?
What do you mean add for free regardless?
For fold3.com.
For Fold 3, you can get in. It's completely open as if you have a membership for those free weekends.
Oh, but I'm saying is.
Oh, can you add
just
information?
Add information.
I don't think so. Yeah. Yeah, I think you have to have a membership to really get that deep. But, okay, if you're on Fold 3 this week and you're collecting information, you find a record, save it to your desktop, upload it into your Ancestry, or save it in your files, because it's free to you this weekend, but it's going to be closed off. So make sure you're collecting those documents. Even if you go in and just do tons of work and just collect, and then sort later, just go in and do mass collection on those free days. And then you can upload it into that gallery on Family Search like I showed you. You can do a mass upload into that. Right up here, you go to Memories, you go to Gallery, and you go to this button, Add Memories, choose Files, and you can choose tons of files and just boom, upload it, and then they're just sitting here waiting for you. And then you can label them and attach them to people once the free trial's over. And you have time, just like these. See, these are not tagged or titled. And just mass upload. Just grab it and go. Get in and get out. My time is up, and I'm really sad because I could go all day. Is there any, yes? Veterans. Veterans. Now, they don't always do it, but prices are going up. Ancestry is losing a lot of membership, so I wouldn't be surprised if they do it because people are getting a little teed off about the situation. Yeah. Any other questions before I finish up? Yes. No. Yeah. They won't do it. Nope. Yep. It's a long weekend this weekend. There's plenty of time. Get some chips, some pop, and you're good. Yeah. I have seen someone have to do a duplicate. There was like 100 and something duplicates, and it took them forever. But once it was done, it was good. But yeah, that's you. Sorry. It's a community tree. Anything else? I live in Waters. Everything we do is in Gaylord because we're right on the Crawford County, Otsego County line. And so my kids go to school in Gaylord, I work in Gaylord, but I live in Waters on Guthrie Lakes. My backyard is Camp Greeling. Yeah. All right, and please join my class. We're done for the summer. We start up again in September. Everybody's welcome. Just show up. I'll be there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jamie. Thank you, everybody, for coming. We had a fair amount of guests. That's wonderful. And thank you to all the people on Zoom. Join us next month, June 27th, for Judy Niemer-Munn. Her topic is You Can Take It With You, Mobile Technology for Genealogy. 27. Yep. Same time, same place. Thank you.